Welcome to this week's episode of Mind Power Meets Mystic. I am Michelle Walters, and I'm the Mind Power part of our podcast. I am here today with my podcast co-host, Cinthia Varkevisser. She is an intuitive healer and our show Mystic. We are excited today to be hosting our friend Allegra Bandy. Based in Oakland, Allegra Bandy provides expertise in audio recordings and engineering, audio editing, publishing for audiobooks, podcasts, music productions, and digital audio education. She also provides highly trained vocal abilities for radio, television, singing, narration, and voiceover work, as well as vocal coaching. For the past 20 years, Allegra has developed a range of experience in the entertainment and recording industries, in K through 12 and adult education, nonprofit administration, and journalism. Allegra is an avid hiker, knitter, golfer, and auntie. Welcome, Allegra, to Mind Power Meets Mystic.
Thanks so much, Michelle and Cynthia. It's so great to be here.
Well, I will tell you right now, I am thrilled to know that you're a golfer. That just cracks me up to no end, and I don't know why. I think it's because when I think of you, I don't think of golf. I think about how you are a community builder, that you're so welcoming in your space, that you help people in so many different ways, and then you get the golfing going on. And I actually, 6 degrees of separation. I got a phone call one day, and I said, and she said, Allegra Bandy, I know her from teaching. So I know it's
Oh, wow.
really impressive.
Okay, and there's two more things on there, or one that is sort of vaguely on there, but it's not really clear, and the other one that is not on there at all. Flower lover. You are a flower lover.
I'm a
And
total crazy plant lady. Yeah.
Plant
total
lady.
crazy plant lady. Okay. And the other one, which is just what I think of as not that you don't have fabulous skills in many areas, but you are a knockout singer, Allegra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody who has had the chance to hear Ms. Bandy is not going to have forgotten it. Um, just a dreamy, dreamy performer. Thank you for being one of us.
Oh, Michelle, thank you.
Yeah, amazing singing. So that's actually where I wanted to start. You are this incredible singer. It's not in your bio, and yet it really isn't. I was going to ask you
The
about
word
that
singers is not there, Allegra. You need to update it.
All
and
right.
yeah, and it talks about you help people with singing, but not about you singing. Just so that you're aware. So really quickly, tell us how you got your own studio. Is it from your singing? Was it from a different way? In your studio is amazing, by the way. Your sound studio.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was 2006 when I co-produced an album with a friend of mine called Sunday Juice. And in that process of, writing all this music and producing this album, when we took it to someone to mix and master it, and we got to sit there and watch him work in Pro Tools and like point out all the things of like, oh, we could do this and we could do that. And like the editing process, I was enthralled and fell in love with the idea of making my own audio content. And at that point, I was like, I'm going to learn Pro Tools. I'm going to dig into this. Ended up building a studio for the Center for Investigative Reporting. And as I was working with them, produced some finger puppet videos, recording my nieces with their cute kid voices, and just falling in love with recording voices. And and I have been performing live. I sing jazz. I sing all different kinds of music. Right now, I'm still performing live with various bands. Next week, it's like soul, neo soul, R&B, vintage R&B and soul, over at the Claremont Hotel in Berkeley at the Lounge on Tuesday. What is next Tuesday? I don't know. It's coming up. And then I also sing with the International Orange Chorale, and we do beautiful, strange, modern choral music. And I get to use my voice in a different way. And with like a large group, think of like, cinematic wall of sound, that kind of thing. Gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful, strange music. Lots of talented voices. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. Yeah.
I think it's great. And the people that I know that you've helped, one person um, in particular, because we love her so much, and she was on one of our episodes, is Carolyn Pistone, who recorded her own book. She yeah, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words, but I know that, and she's a wonderful person, very confident, but I also know that she knows when to ask for help. So I love that she went to you very confidently. She already knew, I knew ahead of time that she knew that she was going to go with you, which is fantastic. But using her as an example, how do you work with these authors who write very well and they want to share their message, but they're not using their fifth chakra, right? They're using
Mm.
their, right? So they're working on their fifth chakra in a different way. So tell us more about that and expression and how you help these people because that's what they're coming to you for, right?
Yeah, so in producing audiobooks, I've been working with authors to help them record their own audiobooks. So, half the time I get folks in who are like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I like my voice. I don't know if my voice is the one that should be narrating my very personal life story. Like, I don't, it is, yes. I tell folks that no one can tell their life story better than they can, right? It is their story. And because, yes, and thinking about the fifth chakra, right? Our voice, that our throat is where it resides, this chakra. It is our truth. And when we are able to communicate our truth, right, and use our voice to tell it, and it's a very unique and special thing that nobody else, not even AI, right, can really replicate.
No,
So
no, AI can do a good job
I
of
can
replicating voices. I got it to work for
for
mine,
your app,
but
right?
is it perfect? No. Will it ever be perfect? I don't
Right,
think so.
right. And so what I tell authors is like, look, there's no one else in this whole world that sounds like you. No one else has your voice, right? So in working with them, I help them figure out how to use their instrument, right? How we do warm-ups, we do practice reads. I also send them to an acting coach to where they get a little practice in and get another perspective, right, of their timing, someone else's ears, right, to take a listen to them and see what they're doing with their bodies, what they're, how they're executing, if they're going too fast, if they're going too slow, if, you know, practice makes better. So, and getting used to their own voice, right? We are all our own worst critics, right? We are so bad to ourselves sometimes. Um, and to have the coaching, right, together with their own efforts of practice, right? They will sound good, you know.
Well, you made Carolyn sound good.
She did an amazing
She did
job.
well, I didn't hear her whole job. So I listen to audiobooks usually, but in Carolyn's case, a friend lent me the hard copy and I was so anxious I wanted to read it before I met Carolyn. And so I quickly consumed Carolyn's book in print. And then later on, I was shopping around on Audible and thought, oh, I'm going to look up Carolyn's book. And so I started just by playing the intro or the the preview, I guess, on Audible. And I was like, oh my God, it just had so much power because she did a good job. She'd been coached to do a good job, but the author's voice matters. The
Yes.
author's voice matters. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I do what I do. I want to hear their voice, right? No one else. I mean, imagine like, gosh, imagine Martin Luther King reading his own books. Like he came out with a bunch of books. And so, like, imagine what that might have been like to be able to hear his teachings in his own voice, right? We have so many other wonderful teachers and folks coming out with amazing books. Like, granted, I mostly work with nonfiction, so I want truth. I like that fifth chakra, uh, truth aspect of nonfiction, where it's stranger than fiction sometimes. These stories that come out of folks, and history, right? Like our what's actually happening in the world and how we can actually fix it, right? How we can help each other. The mission of my company, Odua Audio, is to produce content that helps people make their world a better place, right? So finding projects that line up with that is key, right? In helping people use their fifth chakra. So, yeah.
Let me ask the other side of it. So Michelle here has two books out. I'm working on my first book. We have yet to put ours on audio. I also know a lot of people who are, we're in this age range where these amazing people are going, hey, I've got wisdom and it's important that we share. So they're writing their books. However, no one in that group is talking about putting it on audio. And so thinking about us as an example, what would you tell these people who are on the brink or have their books, like why? Why is it so much more important to have an audiobook? And it's not just about the financial, but I'd love to hear about the transformation. Again, I have a feeling Carolyn had a transformation because she was really telling her story. It was practiced, it was professional, and it was sincere.
Mm.
It was authentic. I did go through the audiobook, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so why should authors come out with an audiobook, right?
Right. Right.
Um, since what was it? I think since 2011 is when Audible kind of started monopolizing the audiobook industry and really growing it, right? Everyone has a phone, right? A digital cell phone now, or an iPad, or some sort of portable digital device, right? That they can stream content on. Streaming is a lot easier now, a lot more access now. And I think the number of platforms that audiobooks are available to be streamed on or downloaded from now are like it's in the 50s, right? There's so many ways in which consumers can access audiobooks. And because of that, right, print sales and audiobook sales are rivaling each other,
Hmm.
right?
Interesting.
People are consuming, they want to they want to be able to do other things. Like, we talked about me being a golfer and a knitter and doing a bunch of other things that take me away from my computer, which is great. Uh, but I consume audio content at that time, at those times, right? So, headphones, right? I have my awesome little things that go over my ear that don't require a whole bunch of wires now, right? The technology has really improved for our benefit, to be able, yes, to consume more. Um, And so we have this opportunity, right, to choose what kind of stuff we want to expose ourselves to. And whenever, wherever we, as long as we have internet, right, and electricity. Um, but yeah, that's people are going through audiobooks a lot faster now than they go through print. Um, I think, well, who was I talking with? They're like, yeah, I've read 30 something books this year. And I'm like, a friend of mine, I was like, what do you mean you read them? They're like, well, does audiobooks count? Like, cause I listen to them. I'm like, well, that's not reading, right? That's listening. But yes, you are consuming books via audiobooks. Yes. You've done a lot. You know.
Allegra, I was wondering, and I know you somewhat, but I don't really know kind of the how did you get to be in this kind of work? Like how did this passion for sound and voice and all of that arise within you? Because it clearly has bloomed back to the
Mm.
flowers, in a way. And I would love to know and have you share with our listeners kind of how did you get into this?
Well, let's see. When I was growing up, my first stepfather was a jazz musician. So
Oh,
I grew up with a lot of music and in our home, and I grew up in San Francisco. And at that time, there were a lot of opportunities growing up to be exposed to live music and to all different kinds of music. So I, I was very lucky with having that exposure, and also learning how to play jazz from my dad, right? Um,
what instrument did you play? Did you play an instrument besides singing?
oh goodness. I started out when I was a little kid. I started with recorder, then
Yeah.
violin, and then clarinet. And then
Okay.
I really didn't like my band teacher, and he didn't like me either. So I switched to choir.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he didn't want me there because I wasn't gonna take his nonsense. But but
Well, it seems like you found the right place for you.
so
So,
yeah, joined the choir, really loved singing, and got serious about training my voice at that point. I think that was like eighth grade, right?
Wow.
And started taking private lessons and going into high school, developing my voice in the choir and then in the high school jazz band and auditioned for the National Grammy Band jazz choir, Grammy Band choir, and yeah, went to New York for the first time to go to the Grammy Awards and all the pre and post Grammy activities, right? As a high school student, this was amazing. Um, and really, you know, got to start shaping my voice. And then once I got to college, um, I decided to become a music education major because, well, not necessarily like I had been teaching already during the summers, middle schoolers, and had taught music after my first after my first year in college, and had this crazy dream that I was going to teach. I was going to be a high school music teacher. uh, and after that, I changed my major to music education, um, and ended up learning how to play and um, how to teach and play all the instruments. So
yeah,
guitar.
I mean it's amazing, but not shocking from you.
I just wanted to learn how to play everything, not necessarily because I wanted to teach them. I was just like in this very nebulous place. But was still singing, was still training my voice, um, being trained how to sing opera. So, I was doing a lot with my voice at that point, but besides opera, I was doing chamber choral music, Latin, Latin jazz, Afro-Caribbean music.
You really do span the genres.
Yeah, and since, have sung country music with bands, in the last few years. One of my favorite gigs was singing with the Red Room Orchestra, who does cinematic soundtracks, like soundtracks from movies, and we did Harold and Maude.
You were there? That was with Margaret Cho.
Yeah,
That was it was a great, great, great performance.
super fun. And, all Cat Stevens music from
Yeah.
that movie, right? I didn't even know about really, I knew some of his tunes, but didn't realize he did the whole soundtrack. So got to learn that repertoire and was that was a lot of fun. And I do, I like doing all different kinds of stuff. I've been performing jazz since I was a kid and definitely have that down, and it's still fun, and am writing music too, and still performing it. Club Deluxe is going to open back up in San Francisco. I'm really excited about that. Hoping to get some gigs there again. I, played music there for, I want to say, 18 years or something like that. So, and they closed right before the pandemic and have been under renovation, so they're going to open back up. The the opportunities to play live music are few and far between nowadays. Most clubs and restaurants or whatnot are, have been hooked on Pandora and, or just, streaming Spotify or whatever. And those precious few opportunities to play live music are few and far between here in the Bay Area. Um, but I still get like one or two gigs a month. So to sing
That's
live,
not bad.
that's not bad. Yeah.
Not bad.
And, including private gigs. So, people, yeah, I've lost track of how many weddings I've sung at. Like, I've sung at a few funerals. And yeah, I think just keep, I have aimed to do music until the day I die, right? Similar to Duke Ellington, where he was composing like on his deathbed, like up until he died. So yeah, I wanna be doing this forever if I can,
Yeah.
as long as I'm able. I'm gonna
Yeah, you're in the genre with John Baptiste, right? Where he's composing all the time, and whenever he's feeling something, he's doing something. It's great artistry. I sorry I interrupted you, but I have a question about your writing, your singing. So if I'm feeling bad, I'm throwing on I'm feeling sad music or whatever to shift up my emotions. So, and I
Mm,
sing along. So I feel better. And I feel
mm.
like people get me, right? Um, but I don't sing very well. And so I'm wondering, I'm actually curious about your writing process because that is also fifth chakra in my
Mm.
experience because it is still an expression and it's going to be sung or expressed in a certain, you know, maybe other people will read it, but usually you end up, expressing yourself and talking about it. Um, Actually, I'm going to shift that a little bit. We're
Okay.
all going through some crazy stuff, right? It's
Mm,
it's crazy times right now. Well, you're one of the younger women, but I consider you an elder because you've been in your business for a very long time. Um, Tell me how this has transformed you from the beginning of your singing experience to now, and what do you offer in the transformation for others as they're doing their thing? So it's the same question, but from a different angle from the last one I asked.
okay. Let me
Is
see
that
if I got
not clear enough?
the question right. Um,
Are you writing sad songs? Are you writing independent songs? Are you writing
That's more clear, Cinthia. I
what
like
are you
that
up
better.
to?
Okay. Oh, what am I up
What kind of songs are you singing and
What
writing
kind of
right
songs are
now,
you
fall
writing right now?
2025? Yeah.
Stuff that I'm working on right now has been a little on this nebulous and kind of on the sad end spectrum right now. Just kind of this wandering theme for stuff. You see my piano in the background. I've been sitting at that and writing writing some music that explores and questions like transformation. And I'm gonna be 50 next year. I'm very excited. Um, and but in this time of like gearing up for that, I guess, um, allowing myself to whatever comes out, try and make sure I'm recording it. Even if it's just on my phone, right? Just kind of getting down whatever I'm feeling. And so half the time it's like, oh, I just got out of the shower. Let me continue to sing what I was singing in the shower. I get a lot of downloads there. Um, and it can, in my process of writing, it can be, um, it can stem from anywhere. And like creativity wise, like just thinking about you, Cinthia, it was your birthday yesterday. And so, and if I were to think about a tune right now, it definitely would be Happy Birthday, Cinthia. You're amazing, Cinthia. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Cinthia. Do 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 do, Cinthia. You're amazing, Cinthia. You're amazing, Cinthia. You're amazing, Cinthia. It was your birthday, yeah. I don't know. It could go.
Oh my God, I
I
just
loved
love
it.
you, Allegra.
That's gonna be my entrance music whenever I go into someplace new. I'm gonna pop that on. Thank you, Allegra. If I owe you money on that. But
Oh, girl.
What a wonderful, wonderful song. Thank you, Allegra. We are almost at time, and it's definitely time for me to ask you, what would you like to share with the listeners of Mind Power Meets Mystic?
That the fifth chakra is connected to everything else. Don't forget, it doesn't act on its own, right? That we have to take care of the whole in order to make sure, like each one of those chakras, especially the fifth chakra, our truth is able to come out and be nurtured and be supported, right? Our voice, our this instrument is our body, right? And we have to take really, really good care of it. People don't smoke. Take good
You
care
can call
of
me if you
yourself.
smoke. I can help.
That's right. Call Michelle. She'll help. Um, and yeah, be really good and kind to yourself and forgiving. I've had a long journey in that and forgiving myself or hurting myself here and there along the way, and it's gonna be okay.
It's going to be more than
It's
okay.
gonna be more than okay.
It's going to be more than okay.
Amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Thank you so much, Allegra. This has been Allegra Bandy from Ottawa Audio, appearing with us this week on Mind Power Meets Mystic. I'm Michelle Walters with my podcast co-host Cinthia Varkevisser, and we are signing off. Thanks for listening to another episode. Please like, share this with a friend, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
bye.